So this is a quick overlook at the system that I'm using for made in Dagenham. I'm going to look at the rig, and I'm hopefully going to look at how I control things. However, it's all not quite working as I want it to, but we move past. Anyway, this is my rig. I'll just turn the... oh, no, that's the wrong one. I'll just turn the lights on a little bit so you can have a look. Essentially what we've got is we have some 120s doing some really cool sort of backlight and side light, and they're obviously LEDs, so you can put them in whatever colour you want: red, green, blue, purple, pink, cyan, yellow, orange. I've also set up some colour temperatures as well, so I've set up 27k, which is roughly a Fresnel-ish, 28k, 36k and 56k, well, 1000k, but yeah. Yeah, so that's really useful, and I use that a lot. Just to kind of color match to a Fresnel, makes it look a bit more 60s, a bit more kind of like they are generic. I sometimes treat them as generics, and so sometimes some of my snaps are 0.1 rather than just 0, to give it that kind of like look that it's a lamp turning off rather than just an LED, which is really cool. I've then got some 260s in the middle doing some very colourful things. I'll just turn the lights off for these. But doing some very, very colourful things, which I like a lot. Again, red, green, blue, purple, pink, cyan, yellow, orange, 27k. I've put some filter gel numbers in as well, so I can match to gels and whatever I need to do. So I've got 103, which is pretty classic, kind of warm gel. Got 117, which is pretty classic cool gel. This looks very green. It's actually not that green. It's actually pretty much open white. 120, which is a nice sort of deep blue. 205, which I learnt from... I went to an ETC conference and found Lee 205 is quite a 60s sort of warmish tone kind of colour type thing. By the way, apologies for the fan noise and the outside noise. My computer is running pretty high, as I'm running it in 60 FPS in high with realistic on. So, I mean, I could put it up to ultra, but there's not a whole lot of difference. That's a bit nicer. We'll put it there. That's fine. My fan is about to turn even louder. Nice. So they've got that 201, which is pretty much open, which is really nice. 106, which is a really nice reddy orangey kind of colour. 165, which I'm using as daylight. They actually Lee, which is the filter company, actually describe it as daylight, so I thought use it for daylight. I use it a lot in sort of window lights and things, which is cool. Some 60s orange, or already orange, 60s orange, 60s green, 60s purple, and 60s red. I've then got a Ford blue, which I've put in, which looks more like a steel blue here, but it is in real life more of a bit of a darker blue. Very much matched to the Ford logo, funnily enough. And I have some American stuff going on for one of the songs, and that's a nice white wash, which looks very yellow here, but in person it looks lovely. So this is why we set our colour palettes up in person, so that we know. It's very good. Cool. Then I also have some 250s, which are spot fixtures. Obviously, all of these at the moment are movers, so you can move them wherever you want. I've set up a photo palette, so I can move them to all these different places and do very cool things with them. You know, you can set up effects and things. Effect, for example, 901. You can have them spinning around and go a bit mental, and you can put an effect 2 on them to sort of make them fade. And it's I like this rig because it means that you can get to. Actually, I'll just show you what I just did there. So what I just did there was actually I have a little thing set up. This is my techie moment. Hang on a second. This is my techie moment. Don't let me down. Oh, there we go. Scene 2 and cut to that. So I've just zoomed in a bit. That's cool. Just noticed something. Oh, no, that's my calendar. Yeah, so you can actually go stop effect and then enter, and it will stop the effect, obviously. which is quite cool. So that's now stopped the effect, which is really cool. Which is all good. So I keep saying random stuff. 250s out. Oh, they've also got gobos, which is really cool. Stick them in like a mirror. Yeah, I'll do. With a downstage. And our controls, and I can scroll through various different gobos and different whatnots. Lots of things to be able to keep you busy, which is nice. You can also prison them, and you can do so much stuff with them. They're a bit annoying because they're very slow in real life. In the thing, they're brilliant. In the model, they're amazing. They're really quick, but in real life, they're about 15 years old and very, very slow. Anyway, I digress. Is that the word? I don't know if that's the right word. There. Battens. I have some, and they're great. Remdim them. I think they look awesome. They look even more awesome in real life. But yeah, again, battens. You can put them in whatever colour you want. You can have all these lovely special colours. You can also, what I like about these battens is I've set them up in 8-cell mode. So if I get us over to a couple of battens, and I do so group 15, which is what the battens are, you'll see that they're highlighted. Cell 1, and what cell does is cell will do a section of it, so you can section them up. So say cell 1 is in blue, you see that the first bit goes in, and then cell 2 is in daylight, and then cell 3 is in purple, cell 4 is in green, cell 5 is in orange, cell 6 is in blue again, cell 7 is in an American thing, which happens to be red, and cell 8 is in a purple. And you can sort of match them up and do whatever you want, and then you can have them going like that, and it looks really good. And then even when you get down to the wash, you can actually do really nice colour mixing by actually having different LEDs on, rather than having the whole thing one colour. Sometimes that just makes it look better. Maybe more 60s, I don't know. All battens. Also, you can do cell effects, so you can do the same effect we did on the 250s with this, but then it sort of does a fade inside the batten, and I'll show you the difference. So this is with selling, and then without selling. So let's just stop the effect, and then just do the battens. You'll see that it does the whole thing as a one. I mean, if you want that, you can do that, and I have the ability to do both. But it's whatever the song requires, it's whatever the scene requires, it's whatever the director wants. I mean, it just means you can section up the stage a bit more, which is great because that's what we want. We want it to be as versatile as possible, in my opinion, because I feel like in a musical, anything can change in like 0.6 of a second. Suddenly, the director goes, "Oh, could we just do whatever?" And I have to be able to go, "Yes, the rig can do that in some way." Hence the movers, hence the placement of the movers all over the stage. My only thing would be is if I put some of 250s, because they're a nice spot fixture, on the rig. If I'd have put, on the front bar. I'll get to the front bar in a minute, but if I'd have done that, that would have been sick. But I didn't, and it's fine, and it works. And yeah, the show will look good, whatever happens. Anyway, I have side Fresnels, which are really good. I can sneak them, I can do whatever I want. I think they just really open up your scope of what lighting is. I think that side light is one of those that looks awful. I think side lighting is one of those things where it's not really an option, in my opinion. I feel like you need side light. I feel like I went through the first couple of lighting designs at college and then realised, actually, you know what, side light is really useful. So side light is what I've done, which is really cool. It just makes the actors pop out from the back, you know. I mean, it's a bit better because we have a band at the back with all their music stand lights and things, so they'll actually provide some sort of almost. I'm treating it as a very bodged kind of psych wash, but it will look cool. It'll look cool. Anyway, so I've got some side lighting which really pops them out, and I've got outside side lighting and inside side lighting, so I can kind of put the inside ones to wherever I want, which is pretty cool. I can section up the decks. So I think you might notice that there's decks. So I can put all the decks on I only put them up as 40 because they're so close to the decks in real life, and they're really hot because they're parkans and they get really hot really quickly, and they basically cook the actors, which is not what we want. Oh yeah, I just noticed that. Oh, it's going to bug me forever now. These are parkan symbols, and these are technically source 4 symbols. They're sort of Fresnelli source 4. Oh, that's going to really annoy me. I'll sort that out later. I can't leave that. But yeah, so I've got a parkan on every level, which is very cool. Just makes life a bit easier. It means I can section up the stage. So I'll just give you a few examples. So I can go down here, or I can go up here, or I can go sort of around to here, or the middle one, or whatever the song needs. Or I can do all of them at 40 and have the whole deck covered. This is all about versatility. So what haven't I shown you? I haven't shown you. Well, okay, yeah, I have two 50s in the middle, and then two 60s at the end, which are super useful and look super cool. I also have wild washes at the front, which I will show you. So I'll just stick around. And they do a really nice colour wash on stage, but this is what they look like from the back. This is from the actor's point of view. So if I was an actor, which I'm not, but if I was an actor, this is what I'd see, which I think just gives this really nice stage wash of the entire stage, makes it look really professional. Almost, I mean, I was about to say almost musical-like. I mean, I hope it's musical-like, but you know what I mean. You get this really even, nice wash. It doesn't quite look like this in person. It's not. The wild washes are represented to be brighter in their simulation than they actually are, but they do a wash, and that's all I can ask them to do. I mean, they're blinders, so they're not dim, but they're not our brightest fixture. If you stick this on and a load of other lights, they're just going to get washed out. I did try it with some side light. I think the side light was only at like 60 or 70%, which is quite high for side light, to be fair, but like 60 or 70% is not 100%, if you know what I mean. And the wild washes are at 100% in open white, or they might be in like sort of like just off white. And yeah, they're all washed out. They're not. But to be honest, even if they're not using the show, which I think they probably will be, even if they're not using the show, I can use them as blowouts. I can use them for dramatic moments. I can use them to set the scene. I can use them in all sorts of things. I can actually use them for more front light, to be fair, because they're not dim, but they're not. Sorry, they're not bright, but they're not dim. So I might use them for that. It's kind of whatever I need them to do, really. And now this is going to be the very complicated bit, because I do have some color changing Fresnels. However, the lovely Augmented, when you change the color, doesn't actually change the color of the thing. Now, I know why, and the reason being is because the profile that we use to say to the desk, this is the light that I like, this is the light that I want, for the Illuminate Pro Light MP180s is not. It's not the right one. It is the right one, and it does work, but it doesn't give you all the colours. So the 180 is RGBW, ACM, magenta, cyan. Oh, what YCM, MC. It's RGBW and then three other. I think one's cyan, one's yellow, and one's magenta. I think. Lots of colours, which means lots of mixing. And the profile that ETC have put up for 180 only has RGBW and doesn't have any of like the other features on it. So you can't like change the modes of it or anything, which you can as part of the system. And ETC's response is, well, it's not our fixture and we don't have one in stock, so we can't clarify what channel is what. So, which I do understand, but I think is a bit of rubbish, to be fair, because they could quite easily find a manual for it. and just make a profile for it. But it's easier just to make it. However, when you change profiles, Augmented goes, huh, what? And it does so I can do like, the intensity is still matched, 30, 50, 70, 96 point. Can you do points? You can. That's awesome. At like 78 point. Can you do up to 347? Nice. Well, if you need your lights at 78.347%, then in ETC EOS you can. There you go. Bit of research for you there. And then also I've got on the front bar, I've got some Fresnels, because you always need Fresnels. Fresnels are awesome. That's kind of my rig. You can create some pretty cool stuff on it. I'll see if I can show you some of the looks that I've created for the show. This is scene 17. Not that you know what scene 17 is, but this is scene 17. You can do some cool stuff, and it just looks very awesome and very cool. I like it a lot. I think it's a very versatile rig. I think it's not, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think it's quite the rig that I'd like. There are some changes that I would want to make. However, it's rigged and the show is in 3 weeks' time. These aren't changes that I'd make because they're absolutely like, oh my goodness, this show isn't going to work if these lights are in these places. And it is signed off by the director. However, I think because I had to do the rig before I knew the blocking, and that's, I think, as a lighting designer, is a really tricky thing to do. So you need to make a rig based on blocking that you don't know. So you need to put lights in very generic places so that you can do very generic things. I knew I wanted the 120s in the corners because I've seen on some reference photos, photos of like window light coming in from the corner, and I think that would be really cool. I think that would really add to the thing. It's kind of got like a swingy feel to it. I think it's really cool. But yeah, that was the thing. But this is one of the scenes that like a swingy thing going on. You got some like fading going on with the side light. It's got something there, but it's not overpowering and kind of crazy. Something that I would like EOS to implement is the use of through values for color palettes, because I feel like, what I wanted to do for this scene is have this light here. Yeah, you can see it. This light here in red, this light here in blue, and then all of these fading up towards blue, which is what they're doing, but I had to do this manually. So what would be great is if I could say this light, all of these lights in this order, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, red through blue, and then it will just go in a straight direction over your, I don't know if I can find it now, if I just select this light, and I go up to here, yeah, through like this thing here, go from red and then do a massive diagonal line, or like wherever you need to go, just do a line, like a direct line into it. Or you can make like curves or something. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be really cool if you could have like light from here to here as like a straight line, and it just plots them equally along the graph. Because I just think that'd be really useful. Because I know a lot of times I want to, with cyc washes, put the battens to light the cyc in H channel mode and then have like a through value, so you get like a really nice sunrise or something. But it was really tricky to do that. Really tricky to do that when you don't have a through value for your color palettes, or even like set 2 markers on that thing and then just say find the best way to it or something. I don't know. I just think it would be really useful to have that feature. But that's something that I'm sure that EOS will look at, and I might stick it on the forum and have a little look. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the rig. Yeah, it's gonna be good.